The Oregon Trail by Zela Crosby. The Oregon Trail was a 2,170-mile route from Oregon to Missouri. People died on the trail by falling off of the wagons that they traveled in and getting run over. Diseases were also another big cause of death. Thousands of pioneers and immigrants would take journeys and trips through the Oregon Trail. On their journey, 1 of 10 people died, and this journey took at least 4 months on bare feet. The Oregon Trail served as a corridor when the United States was moving some of the eastern part to the western area. They were very successful at doing this because pioneers traveled in wagons and took rotations with other groups of immigrants and pioneers. Years after, the Oregon Trail ended because they found other new ways to travel and the routes were easier. Many things caused the Oregon Trail to form. The first immigrants to Oregon came by ship before the Oregon Trail was established. Lewis and Clark would be venturing beyond the United States onto British soil. In May 1804, a few dozen men started west up the Missouri River. Lewis and Clark were hoping to find an easier water route to the Pacific. The route that Lewis and Clark discovered was way too difficult for wagon traffic. Their detailed maps and notes provided a wealth of solid scientific data. The land was rich and fertile, which is why everyone was so interested to travel there. The land was also appealing to people who were tired of slaving away at dried-out, over-farmed land in the East. The purpose of this expedition was to make a contract with the Native Americans so they could be able to trade with them. The trail began as an unconnected series of trails used by Native Americans. In 1830, missionaries followed the still faint trail along the Platte River to establish church connections in the Northwest. Joel Walker was the first settler to make the trip in 1840. In 1847, Mormons escaped persecution. The Central Pacific Railroad connected California to the continent in 1869. Ezra Meekers staged several west-to-east trips over the trail. That began in 1906, but he also preserved the trail in 1852. In 1978, Congress designated the trail as the National Historic Trail. The trail was also laid down by fur trappers and traders. When Lewis and Clark completed their journey to the Oregon country, they realized the passage was way too difficult. The first people to travel to the Oregon country were the fur traders, and they were referred to as mountain men. There were many dangers on the trail, like extreme heat, sicknesses, dust and windstorms, and passages blocked due to snow. My event caused change in many ways. It caused change by allowing many pioneers and immigrants to have the ability to travel to the West when there was not much more other routes to get to the West. This was important because the Oregon had rich and fertile lands, and it caused change by allowing more areas to be settled that we now have access to. People in my event also caused change because Ezra Meeker was a pioneer of 1852 that took steps to preserve the Oregon Trail. Ezra caused change because since he took an extra initiative to preserve the trail, that's what made the trail be able to stay alive and be in use to people in today's world. It is good that the Oregon Trail was preserved because clearly it has a lot of history behind it. The history can now live on and people can be informed about the Oregon Trail.